Been on pills since we made go, yeah. I was with Bill and Bo. Zebo said to kill him slow, yeah. I been getting way too geek. I been way too geek, yeah. Baby, I can't sleep. Give me your head and help me sleep, yeah. She wanna hit the beach. I wanna sell them hits to fiends, yeah. Philly was moving keys. Now I can move them to the keys, yeah. She wanna split a bean. I don't do Dutch, we don't split beans, yeah. Why I can't get no walk? A sign from God, I need to stop. Why I ain't got no ops? From just last year I had some ops, yeah. Heard that boy sneak dissing. Heard that he got
7 records.
Valley could do rock, but Valley rather move them rocks, yeah. Cause oh, you ain't missing. Cause oh, I was hot, yeah. Boy, be careful talking. I don't say be careful often, yeah. Lil' bro, stick to skating. You look like a dead man walking, yeah. Been on red, was been off oxygen. I put money on your head, they take money off it, yeah. Ain't no rest, we gon' hose you down. I had to stock AP and raise my stocks and then went froze to that. We put them on channel 3, we put them on T's, you know what my bros about. I know where the Reaper sleeps and he know me, you know what my bros about. Cuz we shoot from deep, but cuz I'm tweaking, he want a poster now. I tell him don't get greedy, if it get heated, shoot like DeRozan now. I had them white kids up on Dr. Phil. They thought it was a drought, but I flooded still. Shooting till it's empty, you was cooking with me. Bitch, you cooking with me, yeah. Shooting till it's empty, we was cooking with me. Bitch, you cooking with me, yeah.
Yeah, shooting at the block just like I'm Pippin. She wanna party with me like I'm Rick. She wanna hold my chain just like I'm Rick. I got all my change and I'm a dog. Shawty, it baddie, I fuck but I won't call. I'm a millionaire, I run through hoes like I'm Lamar. I'm selling bricks and I'm hitting licks, I swear my name Lamar. But I ain't celibate, not fuck your bitch so hard that I jump on star. I ain't to the clip, I be talking with God. I ain't fuck with you niggas be out. We seeing the mask, we see the facade. And I ain't to the clip like Tino.
It's 7 records.
I flipped her and clip bracelet, now I just swear I'm a hero. Yeah, you niggas can't hang with gang, yeah, we got way more zeros. I put you in that hole, I dug it up like zero. Yeah, I'm always popping my shit, I shoot like Agent Zero. Yeah, she begging for that meat, her diet be that keto. You little niggas be snitching, swear you niggas D-Lo. I'm calling all that play just like I'm Popovic. New kid on the block, but this ain't cussing it. She just wants some lean, she wanna pop a next. On the scene, she rollin', she a sloppy mix. I might buy a BBL, I fuck one time and wish her well. I played in that fire, been through hell, the money come from scales. Beating up them cops, we sellin' drugs, yeah, we was in them cells. Push another brick, we run them hills, and yeah, we never fail. Push it till it's empty, nigga.
CTC Radio, the only radio station committed to the coast. What's going on, y'all? It's the Holy Lord Sanctus, God of the coast. Ooh, I'm not on my game right now. Let me go ahead and fix this. That was yesterday's color. We got to do a new color. What's good, y'all? Thank you for joining. If you're in the chat, go ahead and drop something in the chat. If you want a shout out, I'd be happy to give you one. This is CTC Radio, the only radio station committed to the coast. We play 805 hip hop and R&B every Monday through Friday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Usually not on the dot. But we're the only radio station doing what we do. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you joining. If you hear the sound of my voice, please share the stream. That really, really helps. Shout out to our sponsors, Connect Canna. Let's do that first. Actually, yeah. Shout out to our sponsors, Connect Canna, and epirus.club. If you're in San Luis Obispo County or Kern County, you can order from Connect Canna by tapping the link in our Instagram bio. They deliver until 9 p.m. from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. If you order from the express menu, you'll get it in an hour or less. And we have flour, pre-rolls, tinctures, edibles, vapes, all that. So go ahead and check that out. And then check out epirus.club if you're a creative on the coast. It's a great way for you to get paid for your services. So check that out. Of course, we're going to play some 805 hip hop and R&B, but I came across a documentary on my feed, one of those YouTube documentaries. And it's about... It said Kyle from Ventura fell off because he was corny. And I haven't watched this documentary yet, but I wanted to watch it with you guys and see if we the people being from the 805 agree with this documentary, because I thought it was, it was pretty aggressive with the thumbnail and the title. And I mean, I don't think it's actually a question. Key, what's good? Thank you for joining. Please share the stream if you wouldn't mind. I don't know that it's a question if Kyle's corny or not. I don't know if people question that, but is being corny always a bad thing? We can also talk about that, because if that's your lane and that's your lane and you play it well, is it bad? So we'll get to that. And then HD Chino dropped some new music. We're gonna check that out. And I think I was able to download the Drake documentary that I couldn't show you guys the other day, that with the weird kick streamer. So I'm gonna show you pieces of that, because like I said, it was weird, and I didn't feel like I was telling the story in the way that my homie Justin Hunt could tell the story. So I want you guys to hear that, and then you can comment on that as well. Key says, nah, people call Drake corny, and look at him now. Motherfuckers make millions off being corny. True. But I think Drake's mistake is believing his own hype, right? Like, everybody obviously from the outside looking in sees Drake as corny. I don't think he sees himself as corny, and that's why when he was put up against somebody who the culture respects a little bit more, he folded, because I think I think the thing that worked with for Drake that maybe he didn't realize, or maybe he forgot, is that he played into his corniness. Like, in all of his music videos, they're so funny because he's not afraid to make fun of himself and be corny. But then when you get into the gangster shit, it just doesn't translate. I don't think so. Yeah, but I agree. I don't think it's bad to be corny at all. Like, it's just a matter of, are you doing it correctly? Are you being authentic in your corniness? Key says, yeah, he definitely got high off his own supply. Yeah, so let's just hop right into this documentary. How about that? And then we'll play some songs a little later. So I don't know what channel this is from. Please forgive me. I'll find out, and I'll try to link to it in the description on the replay. And then but if it says it, I'll give it another shout out. But this documentary is called Why Everyone Forgot About Kyle, which is crazy, because I mean, I think he's still, at least I know he does well on his tours. I know he just released music with Hit Boy, like, so he's still like relevant. It's just very interesting, this perspective. So let's watch this.
Also known as Super Duper Kyle, is a rapper who went viral for his song I Spy featuring Lil Yachty, which racked up nearly 1 billion streams on Spotify alone and has gone 8 times platinum. Following that, He released a couple of other songs that garnered hundreds of millions of streams, and it seemed like Kyle was super successful. But not too long after his massive success, Kyle seemingly disappeared. People stopped talking about him and his music, and his massive buzz seemed to have vanished. But to understand how Kyle became popular so quickly and then lost that hype even faster, we gotta go back to the beginning. Kyle was born in LA and started making music when he was young, dropping a bunch of mixtapes from 2009 to 2012 under the names Kid Cash and KID, or Kid, or whatever he used to call himself. He used to make your more run-of-the-mill average style of rap, and he said himself it didn't really fit his vibe.
So all I used to rap about was just guns, selling drugs and shit, and then I noticed, like, I was always writing fire-ass bars, but yet nobody liked any of my songs. And like, my friends and shit were hella straight up with me, so I would play them.
I'll say, yo, his voice is fucking wild, yo. It's wild. Like, that part, I will say, I've never really like listened to him talk before. I thought the way he rapped was like I thought that he was doing a voice. I didn't know he really talked like that. That could be part of it.
Along, and then I knew it was fire, and you'd be like, this shit is trash. And I was always wondering, like, damn, why? And then I noticed it's like, because nobody can really relate to it. They can't relate to it because they haven't lived that shit, and they can't relate to it because it doesn't even sound real coming out of my mouth.
Right. Eventually, he changed his name to Super Duper Kyle, saying the super duper part is because I'm also aware that I can do anything. There is no impossibility. I'm a superhero, and I can save my own day as well as others with the power I have from this music and the power of being.
Philly in the chat was good. Thank you for joining. Please share the stream if you wouldn't mind. Key says, I always thought he'd get into voiceover and pop before music, to be honest. Yo, I actually think his voice would be an insanely good cartoon character voice. Like, he has a cartoon character voice. That shit, I didn't know he really talked like that. That was crazy.
Kind of people. I'm mentioning this for a reason, so keep that in mind. But Kyle shifted his style from your everyday drugs and guns raps to talking about things he actually did in his life, along with shooting to be more positive in his music.
Because I had like Kid Cudi and, you know what I'm saying, and Wiz Khalifa and Drake and people like that to show me that you don't really have to be super hard in order to be a rapper. But I feel like Tyler and Odd Future was one of the first things that showed me like really having a personality and like putting all of your weird shit into your music was okay too. You know what I mean? It was with Tyler that did.
And if you're watching, because I know there's people that watch this stream that are not from the coast, please subscribe if you're watching, because that's, like I said yesterday, I saw that 49% of the people that watch this channel are not subscribed. So if you wouldn't mind subscribing, tapping that button, I'd really appreciate that. But if you're not from the 805, this is where we're from in California. It's that elbow part on California, and Ventura is in the 805 area code, and Kyle is from Ventura. That's why we're watching this documentary that's called Why Everybody Forgot About Kyle. And on the thumbnail, when I was scrolling on YouTube yesterday, I saw this and it said why Kyle fell off and why everybody forgot about him. So that's why we're watching this. And we're gonna see, you know how people I don't know if you ever see, like, if someone from Jersey blows up and then people in Jersey are like, he not good here, we don't fuck with him out here like that. I want to see what the coast take is on Kyle. I actually like Kyle. I've been a fan of his music for a long time. I don't have an issue with him. I think he found his own lane. And I mean, I didn't know his song I Spy had 1 billion streams. I mean, he has to be arguably maybe the most successful. Maybe Anderson Paak has some songs that has 1 billion streams. I know cumulatively Anderson Paak definitely has 1 billion streams. So, but it's between Kyle and Anderson Paak for being the biggest artist or accomplishing the biggest musical task, having the biggest musical accomplishments from the 805. So that's why we're watching this.
So this was Kyle's mission with his music, to be more positive, to put his personality into his music,
yeah,
and to be
yeah,
genuine. Also, at some point along the way, he just started going by Kyle. In 2013, he independently released his debut mixtape, Beautiful Loser, which saw some decent success and today has multiple songs with tens of millions of streams. Kyle was getting some buzz, made some connections with artists, featured in a G-Eazy music video, and he was coming up. In 2015, he followed up with another mixtape called Smile, which saw way more success. This album peaked at 76 on the Billboard 200.
Key says he used to be heavy on the Drake remix cover. See, I missed the remix vibes for Kyle. I actually caught him when he did Fruit Snacks and Cups of Patron. That's when I first heard of him. I remember the day I saw that music video because I read the blurb and it said he was from Ventura, and I was like, no fucking way he's from the 805, because that song took off. That shit was really big. And then I remember I had a showcase. I had a South by Southwest showcase with him and Wiz Khalifa one year. And that was the year that he like took off with I Spy and all that shit. It was huge.
Had a feature from Chance the Rapper and has the song Don't Wanna Fall in Love, which has hundreds of millions of streams. Kyle was finally cracking into the mainstream, and he was smart too, because despite having all of this success, he decided to stay independent, at least for now. It was shortly after this run that I found out about his music, and I was like 14 at the time, and I really liked his songs. When I was 14, songs like King Wavy with G-Eazy were like the coolest thing to me. Also, I gotta shout out Doubt It. That was my favorite song for probably a year. I thought it was so cold, and that single did pretty well too, garnering like tens of millions of streams. But I'm saying this to point out the type of music that he made, which I'll bring up later. Regardless, things were about to take off even more for Kyle. In December of 2016, he released his hit single I Spy, which went super viral. The song featured Lil Yachty, and I'd honestly be surprised if you guys haven't heard this song. It has nearly 1 billion streams on Spotify, peaked at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100, and eventually went 8 times platinum. It even got a remix from Kodak Black, which
Yo, can I say this? I need to say this publicly, man. Shout out to Yachty, bro, because I vividly remember when Yachty came out and niggas was like, he ain't gonna make it. He ain't gonna be around for too long. And he, to me, is like the loudest voice in the game right now, in my opinion. He has his hand in everything, and I think he does a really good job. And I think he got a bad rap as a mumble rapper. It's very clear that everybody he stands next to does very well, so he has to be the the common denominator in that. So shout out to Yachty, man. Like I don't think old heads like myself give him enough credit, but I really like him. I think he's super, super dope. And yeah, I like Kodak too is like as ridiculous as a person as I think he is. Kodak is easily top 3 rappers alive right now, in my opinion. Key says whoever his team is knew exactly what they were doing with his career. For real. I think Yachty is honestly, I think Yachty guides his team. I think Yachty guides QC more than they guide him personally. But I don't know that for a fact, but I just think he's really he's just really a creative mind. Like even what he just did with Concrete Boys and all that. Like I think Caribou is so fire. I think it sucks that she's not rocking with them no more. But like that whole aesthetic was very similar to Yacht Club when he introduced Cody Shane back in the day. Like he is just a very, very smart, very adept curator, and he knows talent. Like he recognizes talent better than most people. So yeah, shout out to Yachty for that.
Don't think I've ever heard, and I don't know if I ever want to. That's not shade at Kodak, by the way. I can't imagine him on that song, and I don't think it would be good. The song I Spy
that was shade.
Really fit the vibe he was going for with the pop rap, positive, realistic vibe that he was talking about. I mean, the chorus is literally, I spy with my little eye, a girly I can get because she doesn't get too many likes. A curly-headed cutie I can turn into my wife. Very innocent and lovely chorus right there. Regardless, when that song blew up, he was able to sign a record deal with Atlantic Records in February of 2017. Later, he was featured on the XXL 2017 freshman class cover alongside X, Ugly God, Made in Tokyo, Amine, Playboy Cardi, A Boogie, and more. Kyle was blown up.
Don't do that, Key. Don't do that. Cody's still out here moving around. I just saw her at South by Southwest, actually. So Cody's out here moving around behind the scenes. I don't think her music was ever that lit, but I think she had like impact on just like, especially like all these little gay female rappers now. Cody was one of the first of her generation doing it in that way. I didn't know she was from Jersey. Who's her mom, yo? Because isn't her mom some sort of music industry super popular person? But I dig Cody Shane. I think she's dope.
And he had multiple songs that started coming out featuring people like Made in Tokyo, Ty Dolla $ign, Miguel, and others. In 2018, he released a single, Playing With Me, with Kehlani, and that song did insanely well. It didn't do as well as his hit song I Spy, but it did garner a few 100 million streams on Spotify, and eventually it went platinum. This song was one of the singles for his debut studio album, Light of Mine, which had features from artists such as 2 Chainz, Khaled, and more. This album also eventually went platinum. Around this time, Billboard described Kyle as one of hip-hop's handful of more happy-go-lucky rappers, and that was a great description of his overall vibe. Kyle was on top of the world, and he even got to be the main character in a movie called The After Party, although it did have terrible reviews, so maybe that hurt his on top of the world feeling a little bit. And after 2018, things seemed to slow down a little bit for Kyle. He released the deluxe.
Did y'all see that movie, The After Party? Did y'all watch that on Netflix featuring Kyle? I did. I watched it. It's crazy that this all happened like 2017, 2018, because this shit feels like it was happening in like 2011 and 2012, but that wasn't that long ago. Like I moved to the coast in 2018. So this was like a year before that. That's nuts. It feels so much longer ago than that. But I did watch that movie, and I think that it wasn't that bad. I think people I don't think people like Kyle, but like it's not any worse than that movie with the dudes from Workaholics. It had a very similar vibe to that movie. Or there's another one where another Christmas movie that like has a bunch of cussing. Like I don't think it was that bad. You feel what I'm saying? I think Kyle gets a little bit of a bad rap just because he's not like, I think he just really embraces who he is, and it does feel corny when you compare it to other gangster rappers, but I think he's authentically himself. That's what I think. Black Truffle TV says, forgive me, but I don't know who he is, but he knows everyone I know, all love either way. No, no forgiveness needed. He is from the 805. He's from the coast. This documentary is saying that he fell off and that because he's corny. You can let me know early if you agree in the chat. I want to see what this guy has to say. We might not watch this full documentary. I'll link it so you guys can watch the full thing. But I want to get the gist of it, and then we'll play some music for sure.
To Light of Mine, which didn't do super great in 2019. Then in 2020, he released his next album, See You When I'm Famous, with features from artists like Rich the Kid, Rico Nasty, Trippie Redd, Ian Dior, Bryson Tiller, Tyga, and plenty more. And even with all of those features, it didn't do nearly as well as his previous projects. It did place at 124 on the Billboard 200, and I'm not saying it did bad, but his numbers definitely started to climb.
Trap God, what up? Thank you for joining. Please share the stream if you wouldn't mind. Philly says he saw it, but he forgot how it went. Yeah, I don't remember how it went, but I do remember not hating it. And if you're in here from the Crash Out chat, we will talk about how I want to release Crash Out, and I'd love to hear some of your ideas. I'm open to ideas, but let's get through this and we'll get to that later.
And after this album that came out during the COVID lockdown, Kyle seemed to start falling out of the public eye. In a Billboard article, they seemed to attribute the lack of success on his previous album to the COVID lockdown, and Kyle did too. He said, "I was being so meticulous with trying to make that album perfect, and in my eyes, that is still the best thing I've ever done. But that shit really hurt me, because it totally did not react in the way that I was expecting it to." Billboard also said, like many artists with new projects that year, he felt it didn't reach its potential due to it being released during the pandemic.
Because in the middle of that pandemic, it was like, damn, life really sucked. At least I know for everybody, but like from my own personal experience, like I was really, really hating life. I just dropped See You When I'm Famous. It's like in the middle of the pandemic. I can't go tour. I can't go do shit for it.
Right.
Like many other artists who weren't super gigantic with.
Did y'all have that experience during the pandemic? Like, were y'all trapped and couldn't do nothing? Was it terrible for you? I worked through the whole pandemic, so for me it just felt like regular. Like I was going to work every day. I was an essential worker, so it every time I hear other people's stories about the pandemic, I'm like, yo, that shit is. They're always talking about things I honestly never even thought about, because I was just back and forth from work every day, and then I go to sleep and get up and go back to work. So, yeah, I would love to maybe even do an episode on that one day. Like, what was everybody's pandemic experiences like? Because mine was clearly very different than a lot of people. I know so many people that have pandemic babies, pandemic marriages, pandemic divorces. Key said, "Nah, I had the vaccine due to work, so I was still doing show." Track got said, "I was running up a bat." I remember looking at your story. I know you was fully activated during the pandemic, Trap. I remember that shit.
Huge fan bases. He really suffered from the pandemic because he wasn't able to tour or promote his album like he normally would have been if there wasn't a pandemic. And like I said, the album hit 124 on the Billboard 200, but it was only up there for a week. He released a few singles throughout 2020 and 2021 and was getting millions of streams per song, but they weren't going super crazy. Kyle said himself he wasn't feeling like himself with the music. He said, "I have not felt like myself now for some time. I felt like I was getting pulled in every direction, and I had zero control of what means the most to me, my art. It is important to me that I give you all the best of me." On top of that, one of the main reasons he was seemingly disappearing was because he was also having label issues. He said in his Billboard interview, "I think I lost control over my art due to the expectations and the pressure that surrounded my specific deal. When I Spy happened, I had this massive record, and there was this expectation surrounding the label that, oh, this is the kind of records that he's going to make, and he's going to do it like a factory again and again and again. And you get in a cycle of attempting that, and I realized my art is no longer being dictated by what I just think is cool."
I'm chasing some sort of smash.
Yeah.
And especially for me, the smash record they want me to chase is like a diamond song. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
The label issues coupled with the pandemic really seemed to hinder the momentum he had from like the past 5 years.
No, like shade to them at all, because my time working with it.
I will say this though, I get so tired of hearing this story, because especially at this time, if you were paying attention to what was going on, like Atlantic was just doing terrible work at the time, if you were paying attention. So I'm sure the bag was nice, and I'm sure that's why he went over there. But to say that like you didn't know that they were going to try to force you to make 10 million more I Spies when like that's all Atlantic did. I feel like Atlantic was responsible for the Lil Pump fiasco, right? Like the Lil Pump exists because of what was going on over at Atlantic. Am I right or am I wrong? I feel like was 6ix9ine over there too and all that shit. Am I tripping? I just feel like Atlantic kind of ushered in the whole decline of I won't call it a decline. I think Atlantic ushered in the microwavable TikTok trendy music era. So to say that you didn't know that that was going to happen over there is a little wild to hear, in my opinion.
Atlantic was awesome, but I just realized I'm like, oh, financially, it makes way more sense for me to just do this thing myself, because that's all they're asking me to do anyways. Just be you, and hopefully something pops off. But if it doesn't pop off, we're gonna be like, disappointed. You know what I'm saying?
So Kyle went independent in 2021 and got back to the music grind. His first order of business was doing something that I don't think did his career any favors, and that's when he released his next album, It's Not So Bad, as an NFT. He tweeted, "It's not so bad, my 5th project, January 28th. Instead of splitting the royalties with the label, I'll be selling this project as an NFT to give an opportunity for my fans to own this project with me. We're in this together forever and ever." When asked what his fans thought about it, he said, "I think a lot of my fans..."
Bro, NFTs were marketed so horribly. Oh my God, yo, because this is literally all the NFT wave is no different than what Charlie XCX is doing. It's no different than what Childish Gambino is doing. It's no different than even.biz, which is popping right now. It's no different than Bandcamp. It's just more secure ownership with the more technology, but it's the same it's actually the best direct to consumer technology that exists in the world, in my opinion. But because the uncoolest people in the world tried to market it, it's just all bad. It's all bad. I mean, this is why this guy says it did his career no favors, because he clearly hates NFT and Web3s. And I don't blame people that hate it, because the people that love it are just not likable people. You know what I'm saying? Doo-Wop is in here. Thank you for joining. Please share the stream if you wouldn't mind. He says, I was working through the pandemic and recording the Vision album in a hot ass class. Philly says, yeah, I think that was before Hitmaker was at Atlantic. And nah, the rat was on some other shit, I think. Got you.
Fans don't even necessarily know what it is or how to grasp it, but I think there's a little bit of a learning curve, and it's going to be a process for people to really understand it. But I think it's good that it just exists. Although I'm not sure how true that is, because if you look at some of the responses to him promoting it, people were saying things like, hell no, f NFTs. Boo. Super disappointed to see this, man. Kyle, why? Now, I'm not an NFT guy, but I think what this means when you turn an album into an NFT is when you buy the NFT, supposedly when someone streams the album, you're going to get a share of the revenue or some of the royalties. However, I have no idea if anyone ever got paid. All I can find are some comments of people asking when they got their shares distributed, or asking when they will get any news from the company Opulus that he partnered with. This company also has a pretty bad rating on isthiscoinascam.com, so something shady may have gone down. Although, like I said, I don't really know anything about the NFT world, so I could be wrong, and I also could find like no information on this at all, so I'm not going to say it was a scam, but it was definitely a little fishy. And what I can say for sure is that it was not a good look, and it didn't seem like many fans were into this idea. And on top of all that, the album in general just had really poor reviews. But that wasn't it for Kyle. Kyle had an issue, and it was that him and his music were kind of corny. Or at least that's what people were saying. For example, when discussing his album See You When I'm Famous, the top comment on the Reddit post is, "I'm just surprised you made it this far."
Jesus Christ.
Also surprised that music is garbage. Now, I used to really like Kyle.
What's so insane about this to me is like, it's corny people that are calling this dude, who is a very talented artist, corny. Like, why does that matter at all? Is his music good or is it not good? Like, why? I mean, I guess I'm being a little bit of a hypocrite, because I don't like Logic, because I just don't think Logic is great. I don't think Logic is as good as he thinks he is. Corniness plays less of a factor than he's not my type of person, but corniness does play a factor. So I guess I would be a little bit of a hypocrite saying that corniness doesn't matter to me. But Logic and like Macklemore are like at the very top or the very extreme side of the corniness spectrum to me. And I still can at least give them their props and like know that they have good songs and good music. I'm not in their fan base, but I think they're at like the extreme side of corniness. And like, I feel like as somebody as dripped out as myself, I can talk about who's corny and who's not. It's wild to me. It's wild to me when other people who like are not known for their swag talk about who's corny and who's not. I don't understand that.
When I was younger and while doing the research for this video and watching interviews, he does seem like a super great guy, so this is no shade to Kyle. I respect the positive vibe he tries to push, and I do still like a few of his tracks, but his music seems very appropriate to the time that it came out in. Like a lot of us are probably a little too old to be singing I Spy in 2024, you know what I'm saying? Now that I think about it, some of his bars from that era just weren't the greatest. Like Undoubted when he said, fire spitting kid who you kid and I would flame your ass. Call of Duty champion, do you know who you're aiming at? That verse went crazy when I was 15, don't get me wrong, but not so much anymore. Sunny Baby made a great video on TikTok explaining Kyle's strange spot in the hip-hop/pop rap space, which really sums up what I'm trying to say here.
So I was in Kyle's live yesterday and a lot of people kept saying that he fell off. And for me personally, I would just have to disagree because I don't really think he was ever really on. Yes, I know Kyle's had Billboard charting hits. He is a platinum recording artist and he's been in the game for a pretty long time now. If you guys remember a few years back, him and Yachty had that I Spy record, which was just a massive hit. But like I said, he's been in the game for a while now, and I don't really think I've ever really met anybody that's been part of his fan base. Like, it seems like he's there, but no one really seems to take notice until he just comes out with a really big, massive commercial hit. When speaking to people about Kyle, they kind of get like this token-like vibe, and it kind of just seems that he's very commercially successful, but not culturally. I don't know, I'm not a massive fan of his music, but he's obviously a fantastic artist. I just feel throughout the duration of his career, something's missing. But you tell me, what do you think of Kyle?
The comments.
Yo, so you want to know what's missing from Kyle? And I could tell you from experience what's missing is that he fucked up when he started moving away from like talking about being from Ventura and talking about being from the coast. And I know you think I'm biased when I say that because I'm doing Connect the Coast and my whole mission is to put on the coast and all that shit. But follow me on this one. Follow me. This is where Kyle fucked up. And I'm going to turn this off here. If you want to go check this out, let me find what this channel is so you can check it out and I'll drop the link. Because we damn near watched the whole thing about this. we damn near watched this whole video from this man. So let me at least share the link. Corny. So where Kyle fucked up, he fucked up by not talking about the coast anymore, because when you try to do massive hits, Trap God said what's missing is he didn't find the Trap God. That's what's missing. Phyllis Driller says, I said that the other day. I'm tired of hearing stuff that needs to be heard from people that don't need to be saying. Bro, that is this ding 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 ding. This is the greatest comment of the day, Philly. Like, I am so sick of people who don't create lingo, who don't create culture, who don't create art, being like, oh, nobody says that anymore, or we don't listen to that anymore, or we don't do that anymore. Nigga, no, you don't do that anymore, but you don't dictate shit that moves around here, my guy. Just go, you don't do that shit over there, but stop telling everybody else what they do and don't do. Like, it's insane. It's insane, yo. Shorty Dua says, when corny motherfuckers call motherfuckers corny. That is it. I don't get it. Like, I don't understand that mentality. Corny Johnson, bro. Track guy says, what's happening, Philly? And Philly says, wow. So yeah, where Kyle fucked up is he stopped repping the coast, and the reason that was a mistake is because what happens when you don't have a foundation, when people don't know about you, and all they know is your songs become bigger than you, right? Because all they know is you're the I Spy guy, right? Whereas if people understood where Kyle was from, then they could make sense of his corniness, right? Like, to me, that was really important. And that's why Connect the Coast exists, is because we need to show what the culture is like on the coast. So that way, when people start to get to know us and they're like, oh, well, you know, they not gangsters, but they not they're not gangsters, but they not corny. You know, I hate that I even said that word because I feel like that's all we were talking about. But like, people need to see into our culture and into the way that we live, so they understand like why we're so different, why beach culture is so different on the West Coast than all other cultures, right? Like that's why people connect to Kendrick, and that's why when Not Like Us blew up, it wasn't bigger than Kendrick, because Kendrick established himself as a representative of Compton, of this thing that's bigger than him. So there's all of this lore and all of this background that you can dig into that builds Kendrick's foundation. Same with Drake, Six God, he lets you into Canada, like you know, Rhyme With My Woes, you know what I'm saying? Like we got to know Canada, and Drake represented something bigger than himself. Same with Dr. Dre, same with Snoop Dogg repping Long Beach. Even fucking Afro Man in Palmdale, you know what I'm saying? Like you cannot, I mean, Whack 100 always says no one's bigger than the program. And like, I feel like, I don't think Kyle, maybe he does, I don't know, but he moves like he believes he's bigger than the program. Even Anderson .Paak didn't do that, and I think that's why Pac had more lasting power. He named his first couple albums Ventura, Oxnard, Malibu. Like he was like, this is where I'm at, this is what I represent, this is what the culture is like where I'm from. And so when he started doing huge things, and then he started fucking the Pac House in Oxnard, he came back to Oxnard. I know plenty of people in Oxnard who regularly talk to Anderson .Paak. He does not act like he's bigger than the program. So he had a foundation that people could really get into, and that's why he was able to sustain, where Kyle doesn't have that. He at first started saying he was from Ventura, but once he started overlooking that and chasing down that LA vibe, and you're not from LA, it's only gonna last for so long. It's only gonna be hot while it's hot, and when it's not, then you get documentaries like this. So, but let me know what you think. If you're watching on the replay, let me know in the comments. We'll definitely address your comments in the next episode. I see this hat, man. I haven't acknowledged my homie Shifty. Shout out to Seth Benzer, aka Shifty Shell Shock. He passed away a couple months ago. He's the infamous lead singer of Crazy Town. He used to go by the name Back One when he first started rapping. He just had his memorial service in Los Angeles, and we went and celebrated his life last weekend, and he had these exclusive Back One hats, and I wanted to rep it to give a shout out to my man Shifty Shell Shock. So salute, RIP. Butterfly, one of the biggest pop songs of all time. Not Slide Alongside, A Starry Eye Surprise, also one of the biggest pop songs of all time. So RIP Shifty Shell Shock. I appreciate everything you did for me and my music career. And it was a crazy flashback reunion when I went there. So many people over 20 years of being in the music business that I saw that had helped me elevate and get to this point where I can now talk to you about my experiences. It was crazy, and it just really reminded me where I came from and the hustle that I came up with, and it put a battery back in my back, and I'm really excited to give that energy back to the coast. So if you're in here from the crash out session, let's get to it. Let's start talking about the crash out session. And if you were not a part of the crash out session, then you're welcome to just listen to us talk about it. Trap Guy says Anderson .Paak need to put somebody from the 805 on, but really just put the work in and it will pay off. I honestly, the first part I agree with. Anderson .Paak he needs to put somebody on from the 805. The second part, is not about the work. There's tons of people who have not put in a fraction of the work that I've put in that are massively more successful than me, and all of us. You know what I'm saying? So I think work is part of it. Work will help you sustain success, but work will not help you achieve success. You know what I'm saying? I think strategy is what helps you attain success, and work ethic is what helps you keep success. Shorty Doo-Wop says, I don't understand why people from the coast are so ashamed to say they're from the coast. That shit is weird. Yeah, I mean, that's a good question, Doo-Wop. I'm like, is it because they're really ashamed, or is it just that people get tired of saying, like, because when you say you're from Santa Maria, or when I say I'm from Napomo, what's the first response you get? Where? Huh? Where's that? And then you got to explain it. And if you're in LA and everybody you meet, you got to do that. You start to you know what it is? You start to realize that you're the outlier and you don't want to be the outlier. So you start to just say, oh yeah, I live here in LA. And then that becomes, I'm from LA. And sometimes you don't even realize that you're throwing your own city under the bus. It's just more of a convenience thing to say I live in LA, or just to not say where you're from and just say I'm from California, and people assume it's LA for convenience. And you don't even think about how it makes you look, or it makes it seem like you're trying to assimilate into a community that you're not a part of. Because I could for real tell you that, like, for the first part of my career, I never really thought about how I was disassociating myself from the coast. I just got tired of explaining where Napomo was and where San Luis Obispo was, because every time I brought it up, people are like, where? Huh? Where's that? And it just got exhausting to do. Now I love explaining where it's at, because it's not LA, it's something different. And when I talk about it and I'm excited about it, other people are excited about it, and they're like, oh shit, it's close to LA, like I'm not that far, it sounds dope. Oh, I've heard of that shit. Oh, there's more people like you there, like, oh, I want to come visit and see that side of the coast now. But I have to be excited about talking about it, and now that I am, I can excite other people about it. But I think it just, we have to be excited about it. And I think that's the reason why people don't tune into CTC radio. That's the reason why people don't share our albums when we drop them. That's why people don't buy the merch. That's why people don't show up to the shows. Because if you really take a step back, if you really look at when we put up shows, when we're posting up content, we're not excited about that shit. We're not. We'll post about it, we'll talk about it, but we're not excited about it. And so nobody else is excited about it. And that brings me to the conversation for Crash Out for the Coast. So I really for Crash Out for the Coast, if you're listening to this and you're not a part of the conversation, I just put together a recording session with some of my favorite artists from the 805. We went to Hollywood to a really big studio and we recorded a bunch of music, and the music sounds great, and I'm putting it together now. I'm mixing it together now. I have one song mixed. I can play it for you guys if you want to hear it. It's not mastered, but it's mixed, so you can get a sense of what we're doing. I just really wanted to elevate the sound and put people on records that you might not hear them on, and put people on beats you might not hear them on. And the music came out really, really good. But what I'm worried about is that we're all going to work really hard in this music. People traveled from the 805 to LA. I'm staying up late nights mixing the music and making graphics and doing all this stuff. And that, at the end of the day, I'm going to be the only one posting about it, and I'm going to be the only one excited about it, when there are, 10 or 15 other people involved with the project. And I fully understand, like, everybody has lives, everybody has their own priorities, they're part of other crews, they have other projects. So it's not like, I don't expect Crash Out to become like the center of everybody's life, right? But I do want to release this album in a way that excites people to share it, right? And I don't know, Philly's involved, Doo-Wop is involved, Trap God is involved. What would excite you guys? What would make you want to share this album? Like, beside, and don't say making money, because when we did CK1, everybody had an opportunity to make money from merch, and nobody did that shit. So it can't be making money, because every time I create opportunities to make money, niggas still don't do it. So what would excite artists like yourselves to share this album and to talk about this album and to take pride in sharing this album? Because I feel like for the last 6 years, I've tried many different things on many different projects, and none of it seems to really stick. That doesn't mean I'm going to give up and not keep trying, but I figure, hey, let's take this to the public. Let's have this conversation publicly. Let's figure this out. You know what I'm saying? Black Trouble TV says, play it. I feel like you questioning if whether it's hot or not. You know what I'm saying? This ain't even this. I'm gonna play it because the way you talking about play it sounds like you want to know what we doing over here. So I'm gonna play it, but I need to know that you already believe that it's gonna be fire. So we definitely, what I wanted to do with this album is set a tone. A lot more instrumentation, a lot more live instrumentation, live instruments. you know, distinct hooks, melody, just, you know, the things that we don't get in music as much anymore. And honestly, just try to find a sound that resonates with the coast, that feels like the coast. So all of this music is what the coast feels like to me. All of this music is how, to me, I feel like it's Super Saiyan level of all of these artists who I really appreciate. You know, the 7 records, the Orchid Hills, the Luxury, the Trap Gods, the Connect the Coast. It's like Super Saiyan level evolution of all of those sounds in my mind. Black Truffle TV says, I know it is. That's why you got to play it. Hashtag needed. Trap Guy says, real quick though, what's happening? And the artists, I see you, Trap. I see you, Philly. Y'all real quiet out there. Let me know. Like, if you're thinking about it, I understand. Like, that's a hard question, so I don't expect you to have the answer right away. But think about what would excite you guys to want to share it. What kind of campaign would make you want to share it? I'm gonna play this song from Crash Out. It's the first mix, so I might still go back in on it. I might add another verse. Who knows? We're still early. But this is the first mix of Orchid Hill, Vuvu Lee, Frost Dynasty, Shorty Doo-Wop. I don't know what I'm calling this song yet, so I'll let it upload. But while it uploads, Philly says, nah, it's bigger than money for sure. I'm a brainstorm. I haven't talked to Uno yet though. And Black Truffle TV says, yeah, quiz, Trap God. Let's check this out. So this is and I appreciate that, Philly. I completely understand. Like, yeah, it's difficult to think of those things right on the spot. So don't even trip. Okay. Actually, wow. I feel like a little, I wouldn't say nervous, but I'm excited to hear what you guys think about this direction of music. This is one of the sounds that will be on Crash Out. This is not what the whole project sounds like, but I love this vibe. This is Vuvu Lee, Frost Dynasty, Shorty Doo-Wop. It's called, I don't know what it's called yet.
I'm so close to press back. I should have told you this, that. I'm so close to press back. I should have told you this, that.
On the way to the bed, all I'm getting is dead. She needing it back, I'm working around, just letting it catch. These feelings intact, my cinnamon shawty. She using no gobby. I'm resting my 40, I'm looking to know her a little bit closer. No roller coaster, nipping is fine. I'm calling a mine, not taking a shot, in the humble reside. Taking the trash out, gonna waste no time, never in my prime. This my new lifetime, I don't need no shot, gonna waste no time. Gonna waste no time, gonna waste no time.
Everything I'm thinking gonna happen, shorty. I'm trying to give you extra strokes. Weed hasn't thrown. Been a pleasure, nice to meet you. When's the matrimony? I mean no disrespect. Don't be too casual for me. Take it for what it is, yeah. You trying to have my kids, yeah. If I go too fast, then you might leave me in suspense, yeah. You ain't making sense, yeah. Baby feeling tense, yeah. I told her, what's prime, baby? I wouldn't lie, baby. I wouldn't hug you, then go leave you. Push aside, baby. I see them signs, baby. Them desert eyes, baby. We gon' weather bigger storm, but that's in time, baby. Buffer calibrations if you be more patient with me. It was easy going time, but life done made me silly. Restoration case on 50. Ay, where's the case on 50? Where's the case on 50? I'm so close to press back. I should've told you this, that.
Yeah. If me and the devil ran a fade, would you go for me? If they let me in the White House, would you vote for me? I paint that motherfucker brown and let the homies free. Man, who am I kidding? If I ran, they'd end up smoking me. kissing on your neck, banging Jodeci. Then I beat the pussy up like it stole from me. My enemies in fear of dealing with the ghost of me. I ain't gonna hunt your little scary ass homies, G. Back to my brown skin queen, you caught my eye again. You all I need to get me through in this life of sin. It's another slow jam I'll dedicate to you. I flip this world upside down if they hate on you.
To press back. I should've told you this, that. I'm so close to press back. I should've told you this, that.
DMC is in the chat. What's good? He says, isn't this the show that's banned on X? Why, yes, it is. Banned by Elon himself. The king of free speech would not let us talk about the coast on X for whatever reason. I'm sure it was because we promoted weed, but I mean, they promote all kinds of ill shit on X, so I don't understand why that's such a big deal. But yeah, so that's one of the songs from Crash Out, Vuvu Lee, Frost Dynasty, Shorty Doo-Wop. If you are an artist in the chat and you were at the Crash Out session, think about that. Think about what would excite you to promote. I honestly want to fundraise, so I want to sell merch. In order, I in my mind, in the perfect world, I think we should sell merch. Whoever buys the merch gets the album, whether that's weed, whether that's shirts, whether it's a package bundle deal. But then we use that money to throw like a party or an event, like a Crash Out event. So we work backwards. We let the audience know, like, hey, we want to throw a block party. It's going to cost $2,000. So we need to sell 20 sweatshirts, or we need to sell 50 sweatshirts. And that gets the community involved. That lets everybody know our goal. If we achieve the goal, everybody's excited for it. Hopefully people wear their merch to the shirt, to the event, so everybody looks in uniform, and then it becomes a thing. You know what I'm saying? That would be what I would love to do in a perfect world, but that does take work. That does take you know, some commitment on the artist side. I can't be the only one pushing it. So let me know what you think and get back to me. And of course we have the Crash Out group chat, so drop any of your thoughts in there as well. Graham C in the chat saying he buy the shirt. See, Graham always coming through with the support. Trap Guy says, I don't really know, and I usually have the answer for everything. Well, think about it, man. I mean, I know you got that big old brain of yours. I say think about it, put it to task, and give it some time. I don't need the answer right now. Graham C says, everyone knows I love me some shirts. That's a fact, man. You one of the biggest supporters of our merch, so I definitely appreciate that. HD Chino did drop some new music, and I said I would play that.
Also known as Super Duper Kyle is a rapper.
Sorry, that's an accident. Let's get into this HD Chino premiere, and then I'm gonna let y'all go. You know what I'm saying? This was a quick hour. I like when we have like things to actually, you know, talk about and show. If you missed the show earlier, we watched a documentary about Kyle and how he's fallen off. I definitely want to know what your final verdict is. Is being corny bad? Is Kyle's corniness bad? Do you like Kyle? Do you dislike Kyle? I don't have a problem with him. I think he's very talented. I think he's very authentic, especially being in the 805 and seeing people from Ventura. Kyle is that. I just wish he leaned into, you know, being from the coast a little more and telling his story a little more so people understood why he was corny and where his corniness actually comes from. But yeah, that's my opinion. You let us know. This is HD Chino. He just dropped this, I think, last week. It's called Womp Womp. I think he's from Oxnard, California. Let me know what you think. CTC Radio World Premiere.
Hey, homie.
Yo, so Trap God, actually, before I go on, that's a good point, having, physical things hand to hand. But I need people, I would love to figure out a digital way, to get people to just tap on a link. It's so much easier. It's so much more cost effective. Like, I don't want to buy flyers and CDs and shit like that. Like, people, I really want to resonate with people that are in the digital age, that are adept at tapping a link and, buying something online, because then if people don't put as much effort as you, then I have boxes of t-shirts at my house and flyers at my house that I don't want, you know what I'm saying? So I do like the hand-to-hand shit, but I feel like it'd have to be mutually beneficial for me to get those kind of materials.
I'm out on the block doing block walks. Find Chris Hill, I don't walk. Late night cream, I knock. The bitch shit on your nigga walk. I'm out on the block doing block walks. Find Chris Hill, I don't walk. Late night cream, I knock. The bitch shit on your nigga walk. Aye, this type shit that get track joint. You don't get killed for all the fake pump. Chop to the goose, the way I was be ducking. I didn't catch her that, I'ma get your clutch. The Glock 26, but it hold 21.
So I'm not against QR codes, but QR codes are digital by nature. So like, to me, it doesn't make sense to print them out. Stickers, I could do stickers with QR codes on them, but yeah, stickers with QR codes, I'm not against that.
I turned to a homo, I know you know the truth, but he still ain't gonna believe me. Cops ass crunch, I'ma act like Stevie. We aiming at his head, we aiming at his beanie. I'm swinging that good gas, I'm smoking seaweed. I'm out on the block doing block walks. Find Chris Hill, I don't walk. Late night cream, I knock. The bitch shit on your nigga walk. I'm out on the block doing block walks. Find Chris Hill, I don't walk. Late night cream, I knock. The bitch shit on your nigga walk.
CTC Radio, the only radio station committed to the coast. Thank y'all so much for joining. I really appreciate it. It's been a great conversation. To all the artists out there, go ahead and think about everything I asked you and drop it in the chat if you're in the Crash Out chat. And we can continue this conversation. I'll be back tomorrow night at 6. Please make sure to tap in with our sponsors, Connect Canada. Tap those links in our Instagram bio. And if you're watching and you're not subscribed, please go ahead and fix that. I will see everybody tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Have a good night. Peace.
Yeah, she wanna hit the beach, I wanna sell them hits to fiends, yeah. Philly was moving keys, now I can move them to the keys, yeah. She wanna split a bean, I don't do Dutch, we don't split beans, yeah. Why I can't get no walk, a sign from God, I need to stop. Why I ain't got no ops, from just last year I had some ops, yeah. Heard that boy sneak dissing, heard that he got 7 records. Valley could do rock, but Valley rather move them rocks, yeah. Cause though you ain't missing, cause though I was hot, yeah. Boy be careful talking, I don't say be careful often, yeah. Lil' bro stick to skating, you look like a dead man walking, yeah. Been on red, was been off oxy. I put money on your head, they take money off it, yeah. Ain't no rest, we gon' hose you down. I had to start AP and raise my stocks and then went froze to that. We put them on channel 3, we put them on T's, you know what my bros about. I know where the reaper sleeps and he know me, you know what my bros about. Cause we shoot from deep, because I'm tweaking, he want a poster now. I tell him don't get greedy, if it get heated, shoot like DeRozan now. I had them white kids up on Dr. Phil, they thought it was a drug.